welcome to today's Explainer. We are jumping right into a totally fascinating deep dive into one of the most foundational texts in the Christian faith. Today, we're unpacking Pastor Jeevan Kishore Gurram's incredibly comprehensive sermon summary of the Book of Romans. Now, whether you're a lifelong theologian or you're just looking to grasp the overarching narrative here, Pastor Gurram has structured this massively complex book around one powerful central theme, the righteousness of God. I know, it's a huge concept, but we're going to break it all down using a super intuitive visual framework that will literally make these dense chapters unforgettable.
So looking at our agenda for this explainer, we'll start by defining that core theme, the righteousness of God. Then we'll dive straight into the roots, move on to the fruits, and wrap the whole thing up with some highly practical takeaways.
Okay, let's dive into this with Section 1, the righteousness of God. This is the ultimate core theme that really anchors the entire text together.
To make this massive book accessible, Pastor Gurram uses this absolutely brilliant roots and fruits metaphor. On the left side, you've got the roots. This covers Romans chapters 1 through 11, and it's all about the unseen theological foundation. It's the stuff happening below the surface, right? Your deep belief system. Then, on the right side, you have the fruits, which covers chapters 12 through 16. These are your visible, daily actions. And here's the kicker. You simply cannot have the visible fruit without those unseen, healthy roots. They're two deeply connected halves of the exact same whole.
That brings us right to Section 2, the roots. This is where we look at the foundational theology established in those first 11 chapters.
So, the foundation kicks off with a universal problem, sin. It's pretty much human nature to look around and rank our morality, isn't it? To think, well, hey, at least I'm doing better than that guy over there. But the text completely strips that defense away. The playing field is entirely level because absolutely everyone falls short, which means absolutely everyone requires God's grace. No exceptions.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it contrasts the problem with the solution. Justification by faith means righteousness is received as a totally free gift through faith in Jesus Christ rather than earned through the law. Think about the original audience, and honestly, even us today. The idea of trying to literally earn your way into right standing through strict, perfect adherence to the law, that is a heavy, impossible burden. The massive paradigm shift in Romans is that righteousness isn't earned, it's received. It's the radical freedom of faith standing in direct contrast to the heavy burden of the law.
So the progression works like this. It starts with a universal sin we just talked about, which directly necessitates step 2, the free gift of justification by faith. But actually, belief isn't the end of the road. It empowers believers with a brand new power through the Spirit, making them vibrantly alive rather than just dead to their past mistakes. And ultimately, this entire progression operates under the vast, overarching umbrella of God's sovereignty. It's a grand plan that often goes way beyond our human capacity to fully wrap our heads around, requiring some deep, deep trust.
Now we pivot beautifully from chapter 11 into chapter 12, arriving at section 3, the fruits, or daily living. So how do these profound, unseen beliefs actually show up in everyday life? To answer that, Pastor Gurram categorizes the fruits into 3 primary pillars. First up is worshipful living, which involves a daily sacrifice, literally yielding your whole life. Second is loving community, meaning you're actively valuing others above yourself, honoring authority, and intentionally avoiding drama and conflict. And third, gospel partnership, which calls believers to get out there, actively support the mission, and work alongside fellow laborers. You can really see how the abstract theology directly translates into tangible worship, a healthy community, and active, roll-up-your-sleeves gospel work.
Let's focus specifically on that first pillar for a second. Offer one's whole life to God as a daily sacrifice. This perfectly captures the whole essence of worshipful living in Romans. True worship isn't just an event you show up for on a Sunday morning. No way. It is a total, continuous, daily surrender of your entire life. We're talking your decisions, your work, your relationships, the whole shebang. The fruit isn't just a single action, it's an entire lifestyle.
Let's move to Section 4 and see how this builds into practical takeaways and daily application for believers. This is where the rubber really meets the road with clear daily actions. You begin every single morning by consciously submitting your life to God. Then, from there, before making any decisions, you actively filter your choices through biblical truth, intentionally replacing those worldly influences. And doing that naturally leads you right into identifying your unique gifts and resolving conflicts, which we'll look at right now.
When it comes to your gifts, they are strictly for serving others. They are absolutely not for feeding your own ego. And regarding resolving conflict, the directive here is urgent. We all know how fast community disagreements can sour, right? Unity is incredibly fragile. The text demands that we protect it by keeping short accounts and addressing disagreements fast, before they even have a chance to fester.
As we wrap things up today, we come to Pastor Gurram's ultimate piece of advice. Read the book of Romans repeatedly. Seriously, it's not a text you just conquer in one sitting. By reading it over and over, you continuously deepen your understanding of God's righteousness. And that, in turn, gives you more and more strength to apply these teachings to your daily walk. The roots grow deeper and the fruit grows richer.
So, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to chew on. Based on everything we've unpacked from this incredible blueprint today, from the unseen foundational theology to those very visible daily actions, how will you cultivate your own roots and bear fruit today? Take these insights, filter your decisions through them, and just watch how it transforms your daily life. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.